So today we're actually gonna make something like I had originally intended for this channel. We're gonna make the shower curtain. Really, it can be any kind of curtain. I have it hung in the hallway right now. The bathroom is small. The lighting isn't great. It's also narrow in here and the lighting isn't great, so it really didn't make much of a difference. But yeah, it's super easy and I hope you like it.
Materials: 2 yards of fabric, and another 2 yards of fabric, and another 2 yards of fabric, sheer 60-inch curtain, 60-inch curtain rod, both from Walmart, white thread, and scissors, also a sewing machine. So lay out your first fabric and leave it folded in half the long ways because you're gonna cut right down that half. And then pull it apart, and you're gonna do that with all 3 of your fabrics. So we're gonna set your machine to the longest stitch you have, and we're just gonna gather the top of each piece of fabric. For the first one, you're gonna leave a hand width of space between the stitching and the edge of the fabric, but the rest of them you're just gonna leave about 1 inch. And when you're done stitching all your fabrics, you're just gonna pick one thread from the end and you're gonna pull on it to gather the fabric so it's the same length as the curtain, so it'll end up being 60 inches. And I know my camera work isn't great here, but you can kind of see how it should look when it's all gathered. So next you're just going to lay out your curtain on a flat surface. I usually just work on the floor because it's easiest. And then on top of that you're going to lay out your first piece of fabric. So here you want to line up the stitching that you made on the piece of fabric with the curtain right below the space where you put the curtain rod in, and you're just going to pin the edges together so that they're lined up. And after you do that, you're just going to match up the edges together so that you can find the center of the piece of fabric and the center of the curtain, so you can also pin those together so you know that it's nice and even. And then I also like to find the centers between that, so it would be like the quarter mark, and then also pin those together. And now that everything's lined up, we're gonna do a regular stitch across the whole thing, right where the gathering stitch is, and you just wanna make sure that you don't sew over the hole for the curtain rod, or else you won't be able to get it in. So for now, I'm just gonna sew on the top layer and then hang the curtain up in my shower so I can figure out where I wanna place the other layers. So here's what it looks like right now. And then starting from the bottom, I'm just gonna pin the other layers on, just kind of eyeballing what level I want them at, and then put 5 pins in them like I did with the first one. And then this is kind of the hard part, is stitching all the layers on. There's a lot of fabric to manage, so just make sure you're not sewing over layers that you don't want to be sewn, because I did that a few times and then I had to cut them back out. And I chose to leave the edges raw, but of course you can hem them if you want to. You can use whatever kinds of fabric you want, make it your own. And here is the finished project. Like I said before, my bathroom lighting is not fantastic, and it's also really hard to get a full shot of the curtain, but you can see it pretty well.
I just want you in the video. Stop clawing everything. Ugh. Okay, I hope you liked the tutorial. Momo hates being in videos. Well, I hope you liked it. It's really fluffy. But yeah, so you can like the video, you can dislike the video if you want. You can leave a comment, or you can subscribe. You can do whatever you'd like to do. The next video will be a 10-minute video of my butt. Just kidding, it won't be. It'll probably be another bathroom decor tutorial. So, yeah, thanks for watching. You are fantastic.